All right, greetings, shalom, everyone. This is Karis Copeland with Q2UA. Q2UA Discussions, bringing that back on up. It took a little bit of time off because I was tired. Still a little tired, but got to get back into the groove of different things. And this, on these Fridays, I don't take that, I'm not going to take long in terms of just different things to comment on. A couple different quick discussions, and then I am off. One of the things that I do want to first comment on is that, again, thank you all for the medical container initiative. That donation, that drive has secured the medical shipping container to go from the United States, and it is currently over in Spain, awaiting its transfer to Ghana. So it took a couple different routes, but at the end of the day, it's over across the Atlantic and should be making its way into Africa early September. I'm going to try to get on over there early September to try to at least see it at the port, capture some documentation, some metrics to finally make it over from Ghana into Burkina Faso, where it will head on over to different ministers that will then be awaiting the contents to support different hospitals that Garth and I were able to see last year over in Burkina Faso. So again, none of this stuff I can do without your support. So that's why I give that to you all. And if not, then most high willing, it shows up at the right hands that it shows up to, and you go from there. Then people will say, well, why didn't you budget for that? Well, look, it's a blessing just to be able to get the container. If the Most High wants to provide for an extra 30 some thousand, then that's great. And now, as we're seeing lot more of the conditions going on, you have to understand, and I know our people understand this, but the value of the dollar is not what it was 4, 5, 6 months ago. It's not even what it was last year. So what does that mean? That means that we're actually becoming stuck here in a country that if you don't have the currency or the valuation of that currency, well, good luck. Yeah, you can pay reparations, and that would be the plan, to pay reparations when the currency here is looking like the Zimbabwe dollar, when the currency here is looking like the Venezuelan dinero. Here, everybody, you get billions of dollars when getting a loaf of bread costs you $4 trillion. What? We paid you your reparations, see? See, a lot of people don't understand it's not the value of the money. It's really not. It's the value of the connection, because all the money does is just give you a connection. That's it. because that connection is the connection of the people, and then the people to the land, and then the land with the minerals and resources. That's it. The more that they're losing, the more that the worth of their dollar is. And everything in terms of the worth of their dollar was connected through us, which connects to the land, and that's the minerals. I.e., that's why you had literally a systematic brain drain that occurred on the continent with our forefathers being taken. And if we go back, not if, but when we go back, they are scared because why? Because there are things that we know about them that we are able to impart that knowledge to the rest of the continent that then empowers them to do what? To trade more fairly. I didn't say to cut off trade. I said to trade more fairly. Hey, quid pro quo. This for that. Well, we may not necessarily have the resources because all the gold that we have has been your gold. All the knowledge that we have, well, you all have taken it. Well, what do you have? Well, finally they're going to say we have people to do what? Anything you want. Laborers, carpenters. Well, we got plenty of that. What do we need from you? Man, we just need to eat. We done destroyed ourselves with these wars, and that's what's coming. This is why they're so mad, because all the pipelines and distribution channels and all these other logistics, their distributed logistics connections or services are no longer viable options. Not like what they once had 10, 15, 20 years ago. Not like what they once had even 5 years ago. Oh, we can get the war and have this thing going on forever. Too late. Because now when they realized that they actually had to pay the fair market rate for uranium, for cobalt, for gold, for diamonds, for oil, to a nation where they just pillage, to a country where they would pillage, those countries and those nations, they fought back. And they said, hey, pay us our fair share. And isn't that awesome that they could say, pay us our fair share, and then they could turn around and say, well, you may not respect us, so now pay them their fair share. Pay them what you have stolen from the land. You stole our people. Pay them back. I think the only pushback would then be, just in my opinion, is that how would you pay a people wealth? How would that wealth be translated if one day they up and pull the plug? All right, all your dollars, everything in your bank account is worthless. But I got paid billions of dollars. I became a billionaire. I had millions of dollars. I was getting ready to pay off my bills. I was getting ready to pay off my car payment. I was getting ready to pay for a new house. And guess what? I ain't got nothing. Well, we paid you your reparations. See, there you go. But, but, but you stole it when the stock market crashed. Well, things like that happen. And then people will be sitting around, that's not fair. And then they'll give you some examples like, no, because here's what happened in the Great Depression. Here's what happened in this recession. Well, you're just victims. And you know what? You had to learn how to be victims and casualties of your own wealth, even though you only had your wealth for less than 24 hours. You didn't even have enough time to even enjoy your wealth. Like they wouldn't do that. Get out of here. The wealth is in the connections. I've said that. I've trained folks for that. Not only have I trained folks for that, but now I have been able to demonstrate that. And that's a continual demonstration amongst our people until they start to see and realize and understand for themselves that Brother Karras is not just here saying this stuff. He's actually showing and proving and doing as he's training others to do. We have the organization, we have the talent, and we have the people, and we're getting more people in the organization to help support different functions, different events, to support galas and other activities, to support educational exchanges, to support medical student exchanges. These are all the plans. I've discussed those plans within Q2UA and more detail than what you're going to have here on YouTube. But all those plans, they start with something. They start with funds. The mission has to be funded because why? The relationship has to have the resources because why? Because people trust people that have the resources. If not, it's a hope and a dream and a prayer. But here's the awesome thing. I also trust the Most High to make a way. He made a way when there was literally no way to support a medical shipping container. And I'm going to ask the Most High to support my travel to hopefully be on the ground, Most High willing, to document and to see and to coordinate the medical shipping container moving from the port over into Ouagadougou. Most High willing, that's the intent. In this time frame, people have to see to believe. And not only do they have to see it documented. And not only do they have to see it documented, they have to see the timestamps, they have to see the commentary, and they got to see the people that's attached to it because they have to verify, validate. Why do you think that the Most High had to go through so many plagues in Egypt the first time? Because he always had to verify and validate. It's not a fluke. I'm sure those Egyptians said the same thing and had the same type of construct of it's just global warming, nothing to see here. Didn't we tell you we're about to get visited by the Anuki or Anunnaki and nothing to see here? Didn't we tell you that that's just, because we had emissions from all of the projects, including the pyramids? There's nothing to see here. Yeah, things are looking strange and no big deal. No, I believe the Most High, the God, the Elohim of our forefathers is getting ready to bring us up on out of here, as he said that he would to our forefathers, to Israel, that we would be a nation here, then called back on out to go back into the land of promise, the land of Abraham, Isaac, and of Jacob, as Israel, as a nation. So the Most High had to do what? He had to verify and validate. And then guess what ended up happening? Then even the Egyptians were able to validate that everything that was happening to them because it was a reason. What's Q2A doing? I don't know. I think Brother Karras is just asking for more money, and that's how organizations start. And that's how they're able to keep going. I wish organizations could run for free. That would be nice, but that's not the case. Even Yahusha had to pay the temple tax. Just saying. But what it does, it gives us the opportunity to show and to prove and demonstrate to our people that the Most High is truly working. He's truly on our side. He's truly doing things and providing things when it seemed that the impossible had then been made possible. To me, that was the biggest miracle. To see that container, to see those funds, after everything that Q2A had been through, and to see how Austin the Most High had moved on behalf of this organization. That wasn't me, that was him. Not just to get a medical shipping container, but to get the medical shipping container over to the continent. Not just to get the medical shipping container over to the continent, but then to be able to arrange for the shipping container to get off the port and get transported. These are all costs. In a time where literally the dollar is declining. That's crazy. It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. But all we have to do and all we need to do, and the only thing that we're supposed to do, is walk by faith. I'm believing that the Most High will allow me to go over there in less than a month. I'm believing that the Most High will allow me to show and document the travel so our people can see, wow, this is how the Most High is moving. And not just in lowly places, he's moving at high levels. Do you not think that he's bringing us back to our what? Our former state? You don't get brought back to your former state overnight. I've never seen anybody that's waken up that has awoken out of a coma and they're back to running marathons the very next day. Are you kidding? First, you got to make sure that you know how to open mouth and be able to communicate. Then you got to make sure that you can actually see and then hear. And then you work on your extremities, making sure that your feet and your hands, your arms and your legs can start to move. And then you have to build them back up with physical therapy because they'll have some sort of atrophy. They'll have some sort of deficiency. They'll lose what? Range of motion. You have to be able to stand and balance. You have to be able to make sure that your body can handle the basic task of walking. You walk assisted and then you walk unassisted, and then you work your body out to strengthen up your muscles, to strengthen up your stabilizers. And then from there, you could start in on small activities because you got to build yourself back into normal. And then when you go from normal, then you go to greatness because you continue to build and build and build to be able to perform at that high functioning level that we all had once performed in. But as you get there, you're going to start to doubt. You're going to start to doubt the strength. Because why? Because as we lose things, we have to regain and rebuild. And guess what that does? It messes with your confidence. Am I ever going to get back there? Am I ever going to get healthy? Am I ever going to do this? We're able to command resources. We actually are. Not just within our community, but also outside of our community. We actually are. And now at this time, people outside the community are actually trying to figure things on out because what's happening with this dollar is messing them up. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? See, what's going to end up happening is that when the Most High has me over there, because he will, I'm already making that declaration, he will. We'll be able to capture it, record it. We'll be able to go live streams. We'll be able to do shorts and everything else to show, to validate, to document. And then what will that do? Then people will come running. Wait. Hold up. I appreciate you coming running, but why didn't you do this as we're asking for help? Well, well, to me, that doesn't really mean that folks are actually genuine. Wait, now you want to show up. Now you see the thing happening. Oh, I knew you could do it. No, it wasn't that I could do it. It was that the Most High was doing it. I want to show up with the opportunities. Ah. No, I know. I know a lot of our folks. I see you all in here. We have been working on getting things together and getting things streamlined. I'm not talking about the folks that I know that we've contacted, that have been in many various journeys here within the community. But I do want to talk to the people that have not said anything until they've been threatened with job loss. Amazing how that goes. Not said anything until they become some of the countless 55,000 a day that's lost their jobs. I don't need to worry about anything. I see who our people are. Our people see who our people are. We take note. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I apologize for the process, and we're fixing the process. So, Sister Bonnie, please take a look and please note so we can get our people in. It takes a few months, years to be able to refine different things, especially when you don't have the necessary resources. So I apologize for that. I'm still working on trying to find donors to support with substantial donations. That's why I ask that you all be patient and show grace. But we're moving, and we're moving not just in the right direction, we're moving in his direction. So usually on Fridays, I do take care of things that I may have missed throughout the week. That continues to support the mission. There are WhatsApp messages and text and emails and phone conversations that I still have to follow up on. I try my best during the time that I'm at school that they give me off to send emails and talk to folks. But yes, daughter of Yah, I will have our folks on here. Sister Bonnie, I will ask for you to personally reach on out to her. Part of this is that we have to make sure that we're trusting our people to get things done and allowing our people to get things done. We've had to revamp some processes to make sure that as we then move forward, that we don't have any type of sabotage efforts or sabotage campaigns. Sorry, we've had to go through a lot of things just to get here. So we had to make sure that we tightened up our processes of getting volunteers in. Because the intent is as we get the volunteers in, we're then creating these opportunities that can then support positions that would then be paid positions within the Q2UA enterprise. That is how a nonprofit works. Our charity then helps to support sustained operations. Because when you open the door for people, guess what? That allows people those opportunities to do something worthwhile that expands and allows innovation, and those relationships allow more growth. It does work. I'm literally seeing it work right in front of my eyes. But I want to be able to show and demonstrate that and prove that to people, because why? Because seeing is believing for our people. It really is. And I don't blame them. One of the first objectives that we have is medical, because that's what they've asked for on the continent, medical. It was so frustrating to see a TikTok of a trained neurosurgeon begging for help, begging to get a job in the United States. When countries in Africa would be begging her. But the reality is, what's the appeal? If things haven't been built up, why would I want to go? The moment that we make something appealing to our people, the moment that our people start to mobilize and start to build up. Now don't post the email. Have her send it to um the intake email, please, Sister Bonnie. So post the intake email so then she can email you at the intake email. Don't have her post the email. Do not post your email, daughter of Yah, in the chat. Sister Bonnie, please post the intake email. We will have we will be working on someone getting in touch with you within a week. With that, that's what I have. I'm sorry, I told you all earlier. These are just kind of quick couple minute conversations. Also, just to note, there is no African passport. Please, please, please don't get these fake AI generated stories. They're all there to cause confusion. It really is there to cause confusion. Why? Because they're trying to create distrust between us and the African continent. You should already know. Now, are they working on Sahel passport? Yes, they are. On an African passport? No, they're not. Especially for the diaspora? No, they're not. Not yet. A couple things have to be done first. And those couple things are still probably a couple years away. I am in those groups, I am in those forums. So I'm not trying to give anyone false hope. No, no, no. If there's something of note, if there's something that is very interesting, of course I am going to post that. And of course I will let you all know. But with that said, everyone, please pray for this organization that these major doors open, because these doors are going to open in an awesome manner. All right. Thank you, Sister Bonnie, for that. Put that on out there. Q2A intake at quest2nightafrica.org. Q2A intake at quest2nightafrica.org. Come on in, volunteer. It's not too late. Put that call on out there. It's not too late. Especially with what the Most High's doing. That's why I have to get on Alpha here, because I got to get ready for some big things with what the Most High is doing. So with that said, family, Most High will, you'll see me on next week on Q2A Discussions. And then we'll go from there. So with that said, family, have a blessed and wonderful day. And know the Most High is making some major moves. Hallelujah.